our psyche, right? So let's say this is our mind. This is our beautiful yet anxious, annoying mind. And we're gonna say we have 3 layers to our mind. Our psyche. Let's call it psyche, not mind. Here lies our ego, what we show to other people, our identity. So it's our persona. Then here we have the collective unconsciousness. So as Carl Jung famously talked about the unconscious, he brought it down to a step lower to the shadow. Shadow self. So, why is self-healing so important? Most people don't even do the self-healing. They go through life and don't even understand who they are, what resonates with their core essence. They don't know how to regulate their own emotions. And we can all have those moments where we get out of control. But essentially what I'm talking about is that people that go towards life and they struggle more because they lost their sense of self. They lost their ability to dream and to create their own mind state of reality. So essentially that's everything we push down to our shadow self. So the famous psychologist Carl Jung, he was more of like a mystical psychologist. He argued a lot with Sigmund Freud, which was a more traditional scientific psychologist. They would talk a lot about the unconscious, which the unconscious is everything that's repressed within our psyche that our environment doesn't let us exteriorize. So the collective unconscious would be like societal norms or collective norms, collective structure, collective standards. Like men have to work harder than women, go to a 9 to 5, and those beliefs. Or in some cultures, there are more extremes for what a man or a woman can do in a society on a regular basis. So that would be more of like what we push to the unconscious based on our environment, what belief system we grow up in. It's the things we think are not going to be acceptable. But Carl Jung talked about our shadow self, which runs more into the core deepness within, which is more the unconscious traits that we have individually. It goes more into our consciousness, our psyche. So our mind is very, very complex, and everything stored in the subconscious, it's things that were programmed from a very, very young age that we don't really quite understand. So that's why it's such an important tool to know and kind of like go deciphering and mapping out your shadow and including it with you. And it's not that easy. It's not like, I want to meet my shadow and try to understand something. No, you have to dig deep. And in order for you to be fulfilled, for you to get out of that mental state, that mental depressive state of mindset. And I'm not saying this lightly. Like, I know it's really hard, and I know it's a whole process that you have to go through, like an ego death in a way, where you have to understand that you're so much more than your ego. And you have these hidden traits that you repressed for so long. So when you start to do that process of self-understanding and self-healing before the self-improvement, because the self-improvement is like geared towards, achieving a certain goal and success and improvement. But in order to accomplish that, you have to be within yourself, you have to be confident and sure you're going towards the right path that resonates with you. Because if not, then when you're gonna achieve success, you might not be happy. You might not feel content within because you feel like your character has not met your ideal perception of yourself, your capabilities, because we're all unique in a way. When you try to go down to the shadow, we have to understand that it's layers and layers and layers and layers and layers we have to uncover. So you slowly start to ask yourself, why do I do the things I do? You question yourself. You lower the noise on that podcast, on that TV, on that music, you lower everything that's going on externally, and you question everything you do. You question why did you get angry about that. You question yourself. You talk to yourself within. You might sound crazy at first, yeah, but it's the same as journaling, but in a deeper level. Because the more you do it, the more you understand yourself, and you'll be so self-aware that you'll be more confident to go towards what you actually want, what actually resonates with you. So your need for acceptance is making you invisible. So when you start to peel those layers and you go beyond your ego, first you see the collective unconsciousness, what you block based on your surroundings, your environment, everything unconscious that you thought it was going to be societal, unacceptable or unreachable, because that's what People around you told you, your teacher told you you could never be that, so that's what you believed. You believed you had to work a 9 to 5 because men were supposed to do that, then that's what you believed. That's what you stored. You stored this repressed, angry feelings towards that because you wanted to do something else. So you stored what you actually wanted to do in the collective unconscious. And these are everything, all of the beliefs, anger, repression, your wants. But the shadow goes deeper and it's more unconscious. If you don't do the work to find out your shadow, it's gonna come out eventually. And it's gonna come out in ways that you didn't even thought possible. It's a part of ourselves that we have to become friendly with and incorporate it little by little, start to understand it, start to heal it. And it's not only like your inner child. A lot of people have that mixed conception, but it could be like a trauma or a past event that you repressed a year ago, but you hid it so much that you didn't even acknowledge it was something that you repressed. So it could really be anything that really triggered you. So once we start understanding and journaling and using tools that serve us to self-heal, we'll become confident. Then we don't need that external validation, and your need for acceptance will be long gone because all you need is your own acceptance. And your shadow is a great tool to do that. It's a great tool to understand yourself and to conquer the fucking world in a way that you uniquely do it, because everyone has a unique way of doing it, but we all repress it because of everything externally going on. We all repress who we truly are because of everything that's going on. So our ego is how we go towards things, how we are perceived, our identity. But that's why blending the ego with vulnerability and our shadow can make us so strong. Vulnerability is such a powerful tool. Once you understand this little psyche of yourself and you do the work to understand who you are and heal, then you'll understand that the need for acceptance is really making you invisible. But it's making you invisible within. You don't find that inner peace within because you forgot who you are, because you repressed it so much, it runs deep. So when you bring that shadow up, you can blend that and it becomes your persona. When the world is quiet and you're truly alone with your mind, what do you think about?